Hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now then, I have been trying to fill up the last 3 slots for Discord, but there have been some troubles. A lot of the orders I've seen I actually already have on my list. If not, they're already in the jar. My cup. Not jar. Anyways. So, I do need 3 more of those orders for Discord, then I can assign everything a number. So, now that that's out of the way, let us begin. When we last left off, Deku and Sebastian have just done that impressive feat. Now, afterwards, Deku, he actually excuses himself to the bathroom, and he goes. Now, as that's going on, it has been probably 10 minutes. The heroes have arrived and cleared up that entire situation, along with getting everyone properly arrested and going through that whole legal process. Now, afterwards, this is whenever Intelli, she would actually say, she's actually looking around and she's actually asking where Deku went. This is whenever Momo would say, I think he went to the bathroom. As Intelli would walk over to the bathroom, she begins checking. She actually knocks on the door and asks if Deku's in there. He would say that he is, and she would ask if he's okay. Deku would say that yes, he'll be fine, it's just he's gonna need a minute. As she doesn't believe him, because she can hear him coughing. She would actually open the door, and she'd see that Deku is sitting on the ground with his hands covered in blood, and actually blood on the sink. She would run over, saying that clearly he is not okay. What happened? As she looks closer at his hands, she sees a lot of cuts from the knives, realizing that this is all protecting her. And she would actually walk over to the sink, seeing that there are at least 7 bullets sitting there. She's thinking back on it, and she saw Sebastian cough up the bullets. And she's thinking Deku did the same thing, asking him why he didn't just get rid of them. He would go on saying that, well, he would have, but that would have been impolite, along with the fact that his body is still trying to adjust. She would just say that is no excuse, you should have actually asked for help. Oh, but that would ruin my image as a butler in front of my master. That doesn't matter right now. Whatever this whole master relationship thing going on, it's not how it is. Yes, you consider me your master, but that does not mean that you still cannot take care of yourself. If you are seriously hurt or injured, at least take care of it. That is an order, then. As you wish. As Deku actually stumbles up to get off his feet, Inko, she would actually walk in, and she is carrying another first aid kit. As she helps Deku wrap up his hands and get all the cuts covered. Then, helping by handing him another pair of gloves. Stating that she understands that he likes dressing this way because it's like his dad, but seriously, we need to get you a different type of tuxedo. Because he is actually wearing the same type as his dad right here in the picture. It's just, it's a bit smaller, and he actually, no, it's not at all different. I was going to say he has a different change of tie, or he doesn't have the flops back here, but that's kind of how you tell a butler. Anyways, he would do that, and he would actually wipe his mouth off as he begins cleaning the sink and getting rid of the bullets. Now, I did not really know how to do this right here, so I kind of just been cutting the recording and trying to re-record. So, afterwards, the next couple days at school, people are actually showing each other videos and talking about what's going on, as people are asking these 3, along with Todoroki, what happened at the party, and this confuses Todoroki, as people would just show that after what happened, there was actually someone recording a video, if not recording on their phone. As Todoroki sees everything Deku's doing and everything Sebastian's doing on the recording, he's thinking that this is actually quite impressive. It's beyond what he thought that boy can do. I'll have to keep an eye on him. As Todoroki thinks that. Jeez. Todoroki just thinks that. He guesses next time he'll just have to stick around. Now, after this, Todoroki is thinking about that, and he's just trying to keep it to himself. Now actually keeping an eye on Deku. As people are actually asking Deku exactly what happened and is he alright, because they essentially saw him immediately rush away after the video, or after the entire event ended. He would just say that he was quite alright, he just had to use the bathroom. There was too much tea, which people would believe. And they're actually asking Telly exactly what happened and how exactly did Deku get up there. And Telly would just say that he just jumped, which is not lying, but it's very hard to believe since he's basically standing on a chandelier and hardly moving it. Now, let us cut to about a little more down the line, because I believe they are still 7 right now. So, let's jump ahead. Yeah, I guess that does work. I don't want to jump ahead the whole 8 years, so let's jump ahead to about 3. Todoroki is now actually somewhat seeing Deku as a rival, but he's not really sure, since Deku has always tried keeping himself on the down low. He scores good in grades, good in intelligence, and good in speed. Whoopsie daisy, that was my tea. I'm gonna pause this real quick. Alrighty, I got that cleaned up. Now then, as that's going on, people are actually asking exactly what's been going on with Intelli, because knowing a boy for that long and him being around her, people are surprised that they're not dating. Intelli immediately would just say that's not true. We just study a lot together, and in fact, he's supposed to be my butler. That's pretty weird if we were dating. Really? Oh, so he's single then. And people were just looking as Momo would walk in, somewhat teasing her that she might have a crush on Deku. Deku would just immediately say that, well, you can't really blame anyone because it's just the way they are. In fact, certain people like certain things. Now then, as Deku's saying this, he's actually drawing on a piece of paper. And people are actually watching as Deku, he immediately has just been drawing whatever is outside. Let's say that he was actually drawing a tree branch along with a bird on it. People are actually somewhat surprised because Deku's barely even looking down at the paper. He would just say that people usually always try to be their best, so it makes sense. But you have to think about it a certain way. As he points out to one person with his pencil that you are very fast. You have a good quirk. You are very strong. That is what sets you apart from him. Essentially, if you were to put you two in a fight, there is no knowing who would come out on top, because of your individual experiences and prowess. His in speed, yours in strength. There would be a good knowing, there would be knowledge about who would come out, and various arguments, but even then, It is not very certain. The only way to know for sure is if you were to fight. And now then. They would go home, and Deku, he's actually saying, he's actually asking Intelli, should they run home or should they go out for another jog? As she's just saying that she doesn't really care. In fact, she'll just use the gym at home, or at least the treadmill. Deku would just say that that's not very realistic. And in fact, if she is going to try and be a hero, then she does have to actually go work out. You can't just rely on running all the time. In fact, I could teach you how. Hmm? It was weird. What was that? Okay. I can teach you how. As Deku's saying this, he immediately just begins running in place, saying that he can beat her back to the manor. She would just say that, well, of course he can. As they get home, and Deku is actually pulled aside by Mr. Intelli, saying that he is going to be going on another business trip, and hopefully this does not happen like last time. But do keep that girl safe. I understand what happened with her eye last time, but you never really specified how it happened. Ah, yes, well, I kind of walked into the room, and the man was on top of her. Before he could do anything, I proceeded to throw him into the wall. But she was already injured. Now, as Deku says this, Mr. Intei would just go on stating that, okay, well, I will leave her in charge then. Please follow anything the girl says. Deku would say that that is quite alright. He already intended to. Now, Deku would actually walk out, and he actually heads for the gym. Everyone else would actually watch as Deku immediately just sits down, and he starts benching 200 pounds. Ah, crap. That hurt. I don't know if that got. I don't know if you guys heard that. I just had a muscle cramp in my arm, and I just popped my arm and it stopped. That was very painful. Anyways, yeah, Deku was repping 200 pounds, and Intelli would actually walk in as she sees this. She's actually really impressed, thinking that that's going to be a light warm-up, but she'll just stick with what she does best, as she just puts on music and begins running on the treadmill. And I want to say that at this point, she does do some training, she just doesn't do a lot. She sees Deku doing this, but with everything that's been happening to her, she does actually somewhat strive for greater balance. Now then, as she is doing this, she would actually get done, and she sees that Deku is still working out, as he actually does begin doing pull-ups and doing a lot of sit-ups. As she retires to the kitchen, as Sebastian will give her a cup of tea, that she usually likes after a workout. Some red jasmine. If not, some just plain black tea, with brown sugar and a little bit of honey. Now, as he does this, she would actually go back into her room, and she actually does open up her own notebook as she begins sipping the tea. She's sipping it, and she actually starts drawing more designs out, and actually essentially making a shopping list for Sebastian. Sebastian would visit nearby hardware stores and other different things, and he would get all of her desired supplies. Basically like some copper wire, some metal tubing and piping, and small power tools. If not some power tools that she can use in a different part of the mansion. Now, afterwards, Deku, he would essentially knock on her door and ask if she needs help with what she's working on. She would say no, as a loud thud can be heard, and Deku would open the door. As Deku would just say, he figured as much. Her quirk has been working for a lot longer, but she still needs to train it. How do you train super intelligence? Well, your tea relies. Your tea. Your quirk relies on whatever type of tea you drink, correct? Well, duh. So, how about we do this? As Deku would reveal that he has actually somewhat been going around and collecting different types of tea. As he says that her palette of tea choice is essentially a little more plain than others. Well, a little more extravagant than others, actually, but not extravagant as a girl with her type of money. She would go on saying, what does that mean? As Deku would say that you just only buy 1 to 2 different types of tea. So he kind of used a bit of his own personal money to actually get her these. As she sees all these, she's actually asking, so what does that mean? Well, you do need to train your quirk. Also, as he holds up one of her notebooks, he found this in the dining room, and our dog is barking again. He found this in the dining room and he was actually looking through it, as he opens it up to a certain page saying that for this, you essentially need to work on your wiring. Yes, the wire is good, but from what I'm reading, if someone trips on it too soon or too late, then the wire will either snap or it may injure them more than you intend to. Yes, it is a booby trap and a very clever one, but you must know that that might not work. As he flips to another page saying that this design here, it's essentially like a, what's it called? It's essentially a very good design, but you need to increase the weight on these and increase the actual elasticity of the wires. So, as she begins rapid firing, just drinking the teas, taking a sip from each cup, she actually feels an entire boost as she starts looking through what Deku's talking about, actually seeing what he means. Being actually impressed. She essentially makes a prototype. She made a little hand grenade. Deku's saying that that is quite good, but can she throw it? At the desired distance, she thinks, here, I'll help you with this. As he just runs out about 50 meters, he would say that he will run towards her and she can test on him. As Deku immediately just starts running towards her, she presses a button and actually throws it at Deku. But as soon as she throws it, it only gets about, I want to say, I don't think Intelli would be a very good person in sports. So I want to say she probably throws it about 15 meters in front of her, but it doesn't go straight at Deku. It just goes left or right. So Deku would actually just tell her that that was something, but you must work on it. As he just says that here, as he actually just goes back to the he goes over and picks up the ball, and he actually shows her the proper way of throwing it without pressing the button. And he actually just twists the knob back, saying that this is essentially how you do it, as he shows her the right way, with how she doesn't need to have her finger like this, she needs to bring it down onto the ball also. As Deku goes to reset, he starts running towards her, and she actually throws it straight at Deku, after pressing the button. As soon as this happens, the wires open up, and the balls are spinning. As these hit Deku, and Deku immediately has his arms wrapped up as the wires spin around to his legs, actually getting him to stop. As he falls over, he would just say that that is better, or that was a lot better. So, I guess for now we could work on this, but seeing as you couldn't really do that very well, I do suggest we do training. Or if not, at least let me train you. You actually want to train me and help me? Well, yes, actually. That is what friends are for. Plus, as Deku immediately stands up and starts essentially trying to untwist these, he moves his hand a certain way, popping it out, actually able to undo the cords. As he puts it all back together, handing over the ball, saying that that is what friends do. They help one another and encourage each other. Isn't that correct? As he flicks her on the nose and walks away. Now then, I will be leaving this part off here, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I will catch you guys in the next part.